and walked out with a loss. The Huskies would love nothing more than to return the favor tonight in Gampel Pavilion. Big East Tourney Finals, #1 Notre Dame walks in to face #2 UConn. And perhaps Notre Dame's head coach Muffet McGraw bracing for the obvious. Quote, game tonight, win or lose, doesn't really change our #1 seeding in the NCAAs. Anyone else out there think that sounds like a concession? Calling the game tonight on ESPN2 at 7:30, Robin Roberts and Doris Burke.
Yes, the weather outside is frightful, but we have a delightful matchup in the Big East Championship game. The top two teams in the country, Notre Dame and Connecticut. And Doris Burke, as you know, the first time that they met in January, a decisive win by the Irish, led by their big All-America, Ruth Riley.
Well, Ruth Riley was sensational, but along with Niele Ivey and Kelly Seaman, the other seniors for Muffet McGraw. But this is an entirely different venue. And just as the Connecticut Huskies had to be able to go to Knoxville to take a step as a program, this is the very next step for Notre Dame and Muffet McGraw. Notre Dame coming in, they face an 82-game win streak that Connecticut has against conference opponents in this building. And for Ruth Riley, there is the understanding that this is more than just about a Big East championship.
It's going to be a lot tougher, I think, than playing at home. We had a great crowd, a lot of people out there, but, you know, for us to come out and play them well on their home court, I think hopefully it will give us a little more respect and not be so much of a one-game wonder kind of thing.
And in that first meeting, Ruth Riley played all 40 minutes, 29 points, 12 rebounds. I need that kind of performance from her again tonight.
Well, it's important that she stay out of foul trouble. She has matured in that regard. On the opposite side, you have Swin Cash, who's playing very solid basketball. She spearheads this defensive effort for Connecticut. She will be huge tonight.
What if Sue Burke is unable to play?
Well, I think you move Diana Taurasi to the one-guard spot. She has been sensational. She's probably one of the best two freshmen in the entire country. I think she and Swin Cash will carry this team.
And something tells me we will see Sue Burke in tonight's game. All right, #1 versus #2 at 7:30 on ESPN2. Let's go back now to the studio.
The game is getting tight, global victories in sight. What counts is what you write, not concerned about the hype. My rhymes go baseline, so why are you trying to take mine? Last man tried, just died inside the paint line. I bank rhymes, got a call, so I'm flex. I'm on the foul line with a few verses left. The game.
Championship week continues on ESPN2, presented by 7-Up. Tonight, the Big East final, UConn, Notre Dame, the rematch. Hi, everybody. Bill Pito in the studio. Welcome. It ought to be a great basketball game here on ESPN2. We'll get you out to the start in a moment. In the meantime, getting ready to take on #1 Notre Dame and Niele Ivey. It ought to be quite a basketball game. We'll see you at the half. Enjoy, everybody.
ESPN2's presentation of champions.
Welcome to the frozen tundra of Storrs, Connecticut, but we have a red-hot matchup in the Big East title game. The top two teams in the country, Connecticut and Notre Dame. And let's take a look at how they reached this title game. In the semifinals, the Irish took care of Virginia Tech, and Connecticut had no problem in defeating Rutgers. Hello again, everyone. Alongside Doris Burke, I'm Robin Roberts. A rematch a lot of people were looking forward to, because Connecticut was kind of cruising along in the year until they ran into the Irish January 17th, but they have been playing very well as of late, especially Swin Cash. She has been money.
Well, Swin Cash, since she came to Connecticut, has always been a relentless rebounder. The improvement for her has been offensively this year. She's always set the tone for them energy-wise, but an improved face-up game has made her very dangerous. On the opposite side, it's Ruth Riley, who is absolutely huge in the win against South Bend. She's got to score, and more importantly, she's got to stay out of foul trouble tonight.
She played all 40 minutes in the game in January, and she only had 2 points in the semifinal win yesterday, so she's looking for a little redemption. Let's take a look at our starting lineup so we can get things going. In Connecticut, technically the visiting team of Gina Auriemma, Sue Bird, Shea Ralph, Diana Taurasi, who has been awesome, Asia Jones, and Swin Cash. For Muffet McGraw's Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, her starting 5, very senior-dominated: Niele Ivey, Alicia Ratai, Ruth Riley, Erica Haney, and Kelly Seaman. Returning to our starting lineup here at ESPN, happy to say, Sweet V from the top of the key, Vera Jones, who's actually under the basket. Welcome back, Vera.
Thank you very much. It feels good to be back, but it's not my back we're worried about. It's Sue Bird's She has undergone a lot of treatment with stimulation and heat, and everyone's concerned whether she's coming back. Not only is she coming back to the game, she is starting the game. So we'll look to see how that ends up with the contest. Robin, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, she's a little, still not quite 100%. This was Sunday, this is right now. And asking her before the game, and she kind of went, not 100%, but you knew she would be in this game.
Yep. First 4 minutes of this game, critical. And obviously, Connecticut is going to be juiced. They want revenge. If Notre Dame can feel good about themselves after the first 4 minutes, then they'll settle in, and we should have a great ball game.
And Notre Dame controls the opening tip. Alicia Matai working on Taurasi, going inside to Ruth Riley. Little hesitation in the steal by the Huskies. Taurasi not looking for the ball. Little miscommunication between Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi right there. Gino Auriemma in his 16th year here at Connecticut. 81% of his games he has won. Back inside to Riley working on Asia Jones.
Connecticut obviously going to come out, and they're going to allow their post defenders to match up with Ruth Riley one-on-one. Don't anticipate the double tonight.
Swin Cash working on Riley, the basket and the foul.
No, I believe they're going to say travel beforehand.
You are correct, my friend. Steps before the basket.
We get the benefit of the second look. Does a pivot come up on the entry pass? Yep.
Just an extra step. They're working inside to Riley to turn around.
Well, she gets 2 quick buckets. Now, Gino told me it wasn't going to come with the double. We'll see. If Ruth continues to get that kind of position, do you change your game plan and go with a little guard assistance on her?
She has both baskets so far for Notre Dame. Cash again being blocked this time by Riley. Ahead to Kelly Seaman, the left hand.
Yeah, this is the next evolution for the Notre Dame Irish. Just as Connecticut had to go down to Knoxville and prove they could win there. And this is a Notre Dame team that must prove they can win here in Gamble Pavilion.
And it is tough to do. 168-15. That's the record here at UConn at Gamble. Only 15 losses. The turnaround by Jones too short. The rebound knocked out of bounds. Coming back to the Irish.
Yeah, Notre Dame is going to play a little 2-3 zone. Remember, in the January 15th win, they never came out of it, or very briefly. And Connecticut's failure to hit shots really cost them in that ball game. And Gino says, hey, we have to knock down shots in order to win this ball game, no question.
0 for 2 right now. Notre Dame a perfect 3 for 3 from the field. Bird applying pressure to Ivy.
Now, Bird a little bit embarrassed with her first team Big East selection. She did not feel like she deserves it. But see if she comes out with a chip on her shoulder trying to prove that, yeah, maybe I do deserve that first team award.
Too hard by Seaman. Quick step by Bird. That's Diana Taurasi's range. Knocks down the 3.
Yeah, this is one of the outstanding freshmen in all of college basketball, and I believe the next great superstar in this game.
Here.
Tremendous performance.
All rookie from the Big East, unanimous selection. Seaman off the mark again, the rebound to Taurasi. And Bird just loses the handle on it. But Seaman knocked it out of bounds. It'll remain the Huskies' ball.
Yeah, Muffin McGraw said, I absolutely cannot afford to panic. If they bury some three-point shots, which we see early that Taurasi can do, I don't want to panic and come out of the 2-3 zone. Now, they're going to shade her side. Ivy a little bit late in that challenge, but remember, Taurasi, great range. She's going to extend that 2-3 zone.
And Taurasi loves the fact that they've been going to her a little bit more with Svetlana Rosimova going out. She's had to be the go-to player a lot, and she relishes that role. Anita Johnson had come in for Sue Bird. Asia Jones, the basket.
Well, Bird a little bit shaky to start. Kenitra Johnson starting to play well of late, and nice little distribution along the baseline.
Haney working on Taurasi. And Taurasi, that's the only knock against her game. Sometimes those fouls of hers.
Yeah, I don't think she has been as focused on the defensive side as maybe she needs to be, but I think it takes a year to really come to understand. Remember Pat Summitt and the early part of her career where she really criticized her defensive abilities. This is a different adjustment.
Muffin McGraw, the Big East Coach of the Year. Started at Notre Dame in '87, took him to the Final Four in '97 as Haney misses the first of 2.
Yeah, she disagrees with my assessment, Muffet, that they need this win to kind of take the next step. She said, I feel like we've proven everything we've needed to prove.
Haney missing both from the line. Yes, she felt very comfortable about what her team has already done right now this season. They feel they don't have anything else to prove, but Jones proving something with consecutive baskets for the Huskies. Their first lead in this game. 7 consecutive points now for UConn.
All the skills in the world, Asia Jones. She just needs to be consistent.
Great pass to Rossi, and drawing the foul on Ruth Riley.
What you want to do, if you're playing against Ruth Riley, as a defensive player, you want to make her move, because that's not when she's at her best. And you get her to pick up a foul because you put pressure on her. You get yourself in transition. Niele Ivey, there's the strip from behind by Bird. Nobody communicates to Ivey. They turn it the other direction. But make Ruth Riley move defensively, because that's where she's at a liability.
But she has done a much better job this year. She's only fouled out of 2 games, as opposed to 5 games last year. Tamika Williams missing the first of 2 from the line. Last year's most outstanding player in the Big East tournament, missing them both. Ratai gets it to Ivey. They've got the numbers. Good defense by Taurasi. Break for the Irish.
Now, you like that Haney was as aggressive as she was in transition. There was a defender in pretty good position, but she went right at her. And Muffet McGraw, you have to have that attitude. Come with it when you step between the lines, especially on somebody else's home floor.
Jenica Joyce coming in for Erica Haney for the Irish. Deflected out. No one touched it. Back court. A turnover by the Irish.
You zig and I'll zag. I'm not sure what Seaman was thinking other than to get that basketball out of her hand. She's got to be patient with it.
Taurasi will shoot it from there. Gets the bounce. Yeah. 2 threes now for Diana Taurasi.
I think if you're the 2 guards in the front of that zone, you got to make sure you know where you are, where she is. Don't turn your back.
Ivey knocks it out of bounds. The pressure by the Huskies are on a 10-0 run and a 4-point lead for the Connecticut Huskies. Thanks in part to not 1 but 2 3-pointers by the super freshman Diana Taurasi. Come on back. Continues the Big East title game, Connecticut and Notre Dame, and Connecticut getting good production from Asia Jones.
Now, they're a balanced ball club, and Asia Jones, one of the most talented offensive players in the country. You just have to see the repertoire of moves she has in the post to believe that. It becomes a consistency matter where she's concerned, Robin. And you think about how balanced this team is. They lead the Big East in scoring, but they don't have a single person in the top 15 in the league in scoring.
Gino Arena said, if I were Asia Jones, I'd shoot more. Really,
yes.
Once, he has to beg his kids to shoot the ball. Since going 0 for 2, you see what Connecticut has been able to do. Jones again on cue. 6 quick points for Asia Jones.
The ability to slide up to the foul line, find the open area.
Notre Dame was going scoreless the last 3 minutes. Joyce barely gets it over in time. Excuse me, not in time. There's no backcourt, of course, in women's basketball. Joyce from the corner. Knocks down a 3.
Yeah, this is a luxury Muffet is coming into tonight's ball game with that she didn't have when she beat them in South Bend. Better depth for her. She'll probably go 7 or 8 deep tonight.
Joyce played 17 minutes in the game yesterday against Virginia Tech, scoring 8 points. The first miss from 3-point range by Taurasi.
I think she needs pressure on her, because that one was pretty uncontested.
Going back inside to Riley. 6 now for Riley.
You're allowing her post position. See, now Asia Jones, because she's outside, you've got to use your foot speed to get around, get in front of her, deny her the basketball.
Jones is double teamed, try to get through. She does. Some kind of way.
If I'm Gino Ori, I might just show her the first 5 minutes of this ball game. Say, Agent, please do this every single night, because you have the skills to do it.
Absolutely. And Seaman is fouled by Tamika Williams going to the basket. Look Look at this by Jones.
Well, beautiful step-through move. The double come, she just reads it, and she actually, I believe, when she came out of that trap, was looking to pass the basketball, but Seaman never committed to her. Now watch her eyes. She looks down, but Seaman's a pretty good spot, so she just sticks it. Very nice.
Seaman makes the first of two. Basically her only weakness, I was going to say, Kelly Seaman, is from the line, especially in that first game at Notre Dame, but makes the first of two.
Well, there's so much attention on this Notre Dame team given to Ruth Riley, of course, one of the leading candidates with Abrosamova and Ketchum's gone for Player of the Year. Got to look at Jackie Stiles, but so much attention given to Ivy and Riley. Caney and Seaman have been critical in this #1 ranking for Notre Dame.
Of course, who can forget how Seaman played with a broken hand in that game in January. Hey, Jay, Kenitra Johnson.
Boy, if they start training threes, this is
Watch out.
Yeah, this is tough to beat. And here's something that Gino has talked about. You know, pressure defense, he has been able to go to it because of the way the game's been called, but let's watch them offensively. The little penetration forces the defense to collapse. You kick it weak side, you get an outstanding look for Kenitra Johnson.
And see Connecticut 3 for 4 from downtown Notre Dame, 1 of 1. Sure, the tie will sooner or later put up some threes. And Ivy is fouled. Sue Bird, who's come back into the game.
Yeah, he's phenomenally upset with Sue Bird's defense. Let's watch this, because I think it might give Sue Bird an earful.
Then bad back or no bad back. A 4-point lead for the Connecticut Huskies. 14 minutes left to go here in the first half. Gamble Pavilion, Stores, Connecticut, where the Huskies a 4-point margin over the Notre Dame Irish. And you know what this Sunday is? Selection Sunday AA basketball tournament.
Well, I think the selection committee's got a job to do, and in regards to seeding, whoever wins or loses this game, I think both of them are going to be at 1 seed. I think Tennessee's a 1 seed. Your decision becomes, is it Duke? Is that your #1 seed? Georgia? I think that's what it comes down to. Andy Landers
won the SEC tournament.
And Gail Guest, of course. Which of those two programs is going to get that #1 seed?
Tough basket by Seaman. Some people feel that Oklahoma will get consideration depending on what they do at the Big 12 tournament.
Right. What a turnaround. Sherry Coles, I saw her early in the year. They struggled against Wisconsin.
Sweet move by Swin Cash.
An improved offensive game. Obviously a lot more comfortable with the basketball in her hands. The patience to square and score it.
Riley. 3 seconds. Waiting for that call. He just couldn't get up in time and call for 3 seconds.
Yeah, we talked about Swin's Cash at the top of this telecast, and the fact that always a relentless rebounder, but now has got the offensive skills to go with that defensive and athletic ability. Nice little step through, going against a larger defender, creates a little space, just gets the right angle on it.
5 turnovers now by the Irish. They're down by 4. Sue Bird stops and pops.
Yeah, dribble penetration at 2-3 because Taurasi's on the floor is so spread that dribble penetration into the heart of the paint. Outstanding decision by Bird.
Seaman is left open. Kelly Seaman with a strong start for the Irish. Inside, but no doing for Swin Cash.
Yeah, solid job. Now, Ruth, early in her career, might have fouled on that particular instance.
She has matured so much, and Alicia Ratai leads the nation in three-point shooting at almost 53%.
Yeah, you could tell that Notre Dame is poised in this building. Connecticut has won 82 straight against Big East Conference opponents in here, but there's no fear in Notre Dame right now.
Bird again responds.
Again, they're going to have to sit down in front of her and disallow dribble penetration because Bird will eat them up. If you don't challenge a jump shot, she's going to stick it. If you do, she's going to dump it down.
71%, 73% for Notre Dame. Both teams red hot. Riley draws the foul on Williams.
Yeah, and this is just outstanding coaching here. If you're Muffet McGraw, you know that they've elected to defend her one-on-one. So you're going right through your All-American, and why not? They're going one-on-one. They're allowing her post position. Tamika Williams stands behind, and you might as well turn the lights out, folks. Rick Pitino calls this place on the floor jail. You're underneath the rim. There's not a thing you can do to defend it. She sticks it.
She's a perfect 4 for 4 from the floor as Tamika Williams scoreless in this game as we're talking with Gino Auriemma as Riley misses from the line. Had a chance to tie this game. That's a tough pass. Back out to Taurasi, to Shea Ralph. Big three from Shea Dog.
Gino, I talked to him early in the year. I said, what do you want from this team? He said, I want them to be the hardest working and the most unselfish basketball team. You get a look at it right there. Extra pass, wide open three.
And no one works harder than Shea Ralph. Long rebound out to Sue Bird. Ahead to Shea Ralph. And she is knocked to the floor. So Notre Dame got to within one. And the Huskies have brought it back out to a 6-point lead.
Well, when you play Connecticut, one of the things you have to do is minimize your turnovers. If you have too many, they do a great job of turning it into points on the opposite end. They do not get a particularly good look at Shea. Releases, beats people up the floor. Anytime you can leak out, get an easy bucket, that puts some pressure on you. Obviously, great reaction from the sideline.
You gotta love this Connecticut team. They've won so many titles throughout the years, and they still remain hungry. When you look over the bench, they still want this. Since the 1989-90 season, they've won 11 regular season conference championships, 9 tournament championships, including 7 in a row. That is remarkable.
Yeah, it's the 7 consecutive, but the defeat back in January might have been the best thing for this basketball team.
What do you think, BJ?
Well, Robin, a couple thoughts. Number one, the dribble penetration. Doris, you're right on with that. That's what opened things up for the outside shot, believe it or not, for Connecticut. And I have the advantage underneath the basket for Notre Dame. I'm listening. They're having trouble with communication. Kelly Seaman messed up a couple of plays, but I think they're getting back on track now. Back to you, Robin.
Ratai getting on track with her second 3 in this game.
Ratai is one of those players who still at this point has got to find the open areas because creating shots is not what she's best at.
Not her strength. Too hard by Jones. The outlet to Ivy. The numbers aren't there. She's going to take it anyway. Ill-advised. She was trying to draw the foul, but nothing doing. Sue Bird stops. Long rebound out to Ivy.
Questionable decisions by both point guards. Both shots unnecessary.
2-on-1. Ooh! Taurasi thought it was clean, but now that's 2 fouls on Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, and here's something you have to learn as a defender and playing at this level. You get in position, you don't try to make the block. You beat her to the spot, and you try to draw the charge. If anything, a lot of ball, but don't put it in the official's hands on a block. Put it in the official's hands to make the block charge call.
Again, 2 fouls and 6 points for Diana Taurasi as Ratai makes the first of 2. And Ruth Riley played all 40 minutes in the first game in January, but going to get a little bit of a rest now. And Kelly Schumacher coming in for the Huskies.
Now, Amanda Barksdale gave Notre Dame great minutes last night. So you have that peace of mind if you're Muffet McGraw. Let her give you a couple minutes. Give Ruth some time on the bench, fresh legs, make for better players.
Barksdale played 16 minutes in the game yesterday against Virginia Tech. Seaman controlling the rebound off the Johnson miss.
They haven't panicked, Robin. Connecticut has hit some threes, but Muffet's sticking with the game plan. She told me she might throw a little box and one if necessary, triangle too, but the 2-3 zone are bread and butter.
Showing a lot of poise. The back door to Ivy.
Outstanding find by Ratai, and Gino now wants to use one here.
It's a tie ball game, 28 all. Under 10 minutes left to go, but a lot of poise by the Notre Dame Irish.
Yeah, I think what you have to do against Connecticut, against any team that likes to get up and deny, you got to be able to go back door. There's the great deny by KJ. Great read, just turn and go back door. The help a little bit late.
Tonight on ESPN2, the Mid-Continent Championship, Southern Utah.
And beat South Alabama.
Sometimes that is so tough to do with such an emotional win. Good ball movement by the Huskies. Ralph the basket and the foul.
And here is where she's made her living. When Abrosimoglu went down with the injury, Shea Ralph's numbers went up. She had been struggling at points, but here's what she's made a career on. Dribble penetration into the heart of the lane. She's one of the strongest players in college basketball. She is a weight room fanatic.
Oh, yeah.
All that strength helps you make shots like that.
Alicia Ratai was called for the foul, and she lives in the weight room. One of the conditioning coaches really works with her. Andrea Hootie. It's a 3-point lead now for the Connecticut Huskies. 9:38 left to go here in the first half.
Welcome back. It's a rain or snowy night outside, and we had some serious snow outside Gamble Pavilion last night here. I'm Vera Jones, and I was here as we had the opportunity to watch an engineer at work. As you see there, what happened was the roof started leaking. The game was suspended for over an hour, and this man was the MVP last night unofficially, Bill Sell. The head engineer, who had to go all the way up into the ceiling, crawled through a very, very small crawl space. I never would have made it. And he actually ended up taking the towel and sopping things up. And because of that, the game continued, and of course, the rest is history. UConn pulled off the big win against Rutgers. Robin?
He was in all the papers today doing interviews. He's an instant folk hero.
A reluctant
Bill
one.
Sell, yeah, a reluctant one. Nice touch by Kelly Seaman inside.
Of course, Vera Jones had to use all those television skills because an hour and 37-minute delay for TV, that is no fun.
Oh, no. But she was loving a lot of talk time. Quinn Cash going to work. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Deflected by Ivy. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Cash. It's knocked out of bounds by the Huskies. Notre Dame's ball. We are here at Gamble Pavilion, the title game in the Big East Championship. Top 2 teams in the country. Notre Dame #1, Connecticut #2. Robin Roberts, Doris Burke, and Vera Jones back in the house. Back at ESPN. And it's a little odd having Connecticut playing at Gamble in the dark uniforms, but technically they are the visiting team since they lost in the first game of the season, or during the regular season, to Notre Dame. So Notre Dame is a top seed.
They're 0-2 at home in those uniforms. Back in '90 against the Soviet national team, and then in '92 against Fern Labati's Miami team.
Hush your mouth, says Asia Jones. Don't want to hear that.
Now, you love to see her perform at this level because of a vast array of skills, Asia Jones. She can shoot the jump shot with great consistency, handles the basketball, sees the floor, does so many things with it.
Great hands by Kenitra Johnson. 6 turnovers now by the Irish. Tamika Williams too hard, but Shea Ralph steals it. A break for the Huskies as the Irish knock it out of bounds. How long can you keep Ruth Riley out of this game? Well, Gina Auriemma, Ruth Riley is coming back. The Huskies still up by 3. Pavilion, the Huskies with a 3-point advantage over the Notre Dame Irish. A different story when they played for the first time this season back on January 15th. And Doris Burke, you remember, you were there. Quite a scene there at Notre Dame.
The first time in their history during the Big East Conference that they were able to beat Connecticut. It was a huge mental victory as well as a basketball win for Muffet McGraw, getting celebration with her husband Matt. And you look at the numbers. Connecticut managed just 37% shooting. Notre Dame went to the line 46 times. Riley was huge in the effort. But tonight, folks, this is a Connecticut team that comes into this ball game third in the nation at 51% field goal shooting tonight. They've been outstanding. They are sitting right now at 58%. Obviously, the adjustments offensively.
But the turnover right there by the Huskies, and as you said earlier, Gina Auriemma said it wasn't necessarily a bad thing that they lost that game. Even the players said they were a little too overconfident at that point. And even though they went on to lose a second game of the year to Tennessee, they played very well in that Tennessee game and have really learned a lot.
Yeah, Connecticut had beaten Notre Dame 12 straight times, and you get to the point where you think, okay, this is just another Notre Dame game, but you got to give all the credit in the world to Muffet McGraw and her staff. They had a sensational game plan.
50% from three-point range, 58% from the floor. Connecticut so far in this game.
Sticking with that 2-3 zone.
Cash over Riley. Riley's a perfect 4 for 4 from the floor. Joyce. Long rebound out to Riley. Back inside to Joyce. Great pass from Niele Ivey.
Well, Ivey and Bird,
Wow.
both finalists for that Nancy Lieberman Klein Award, but how about that find?
Irish back to within 1. Great pass to Cash, who can't convert. Little tentative, but a break for Connecticut. Knocked out of bounds by the Irish.
Those second chance opportunities usually lead to positive things. The kick out by Riley, and then look at this. Joyce sneaks right behind the defense.
Knocking down the big three, Sue Bird. Double team knocked away by Shea Ralph. And then she gets ahead on the break. The basket and the foul. Great play by the senior, Shea Ralph.
Okay, now watch the difference here. Force Ruth Riley up to the mid-post area. She becomes a little less effective for Muffet McGraw. Asia gets her to the mid-post. You get a little assistance from Shea Ralph. And again, they turn you to the 94 feet. They turn you over, and it's points on the board in the other direction.
And Shea Ralph was very disappointed after that game in January at Notre Dame. Look at that, 10 points, 4 for 4 from the floor, 6 assists by Shea Ralph.
Yeah, she was voted second team all-conference. I really believe that she feels that was an injustice. A double screen, outstanding execution. Bird sticks it.
Point of hoop action. Championship week continues tomorrow.
You want to see an outstanding freshman in men's college basketball? Check out Darius Rice from Miami. And Connecticut shooting themselves in the foot with that loss against Seton Hall. The general consensus is Connecticut must absolutely win that first-round game in order to get in. That will be a very good basketball game.
It'll be really tough for the Husky men to get into the NCAA tournament without a win. And even then, it's not a given. Ivey being pressured by Bird. Good hands by Cash, but Seaman collects it. Great feed from Riley to Ivey.
Again, you have to be patient because obviously Connecticut very aggressive defensively. That means that your backdoor cuts, all of those cuts behind the defense become more effective.
Knocked around. The Irish control.
Now look at a post position. Yes, get her the ball.
But she kicks it out to Ratai. Great feed, but maybe one pass too many. Shea Ralph, oh goodness. Oh no. Oh, you know that the injury she's had with her knees.
Here's a woman who knows what this injury is. So obviously her reaction is from experience.
She has worked so hard. You don't want to speculate, but someone who's had 2 severe knee injuries.
You come to understand, and any woman who's had that ACL torn understands what that feeling is. You know that sensation. Yeah, there are women's college basketball fans around the country looking at this, they're just absolutely shaking their heads at the number of times this happens to premier athletes. See Tamika Catchings. Everybody remembers Tamika Catchings. And here's a look at it. We don't, being told we don't have a tremendous angle on it, but great crossover dribble gets by. Now, plants.
And at that point, you could see she was already grabbing for her left knee before she went down. She is such a crowd favorite. She has played through such pain.
What she's been able to accomplish, given the fact that she had those 2 major injuries, is incredible. The testament to her is that she came back from both of them.
And you can see the concern of the fans as well, and rightfully so. Chris Daly, Gina Auriemma.
Another look at it. Here's where she's made her living, getting close to the rim and making things happen.
She's walking off in her own power. And as soon as we can get a report, folks, we'll pass it along to you.
So here's a mental adjustment for these players. And Gina's going to huddle them all around and have a discussion here. And important how they respond in this next couple of minutes without their spiritual leader, Shea Ralph, spiritual and captain.
And you can see their determination, especially Swin Cash.
Here's an interesting point. What was Pat Summitt's reaction when Tamika Catchings went down? The first thing out of her mouth was, it's so important how we react. It's so important how Gino Auriemma and his staff treat this, whatever the outcome turns out to be. You're shaking up, Miss Roberts. You're not saying a word.
This is a scene that always gets me. It always gets me. Swin Cash. The basket and the foul by Miss Cash.
Here's something about Swin Cash. She sets the tone. She's relentless. She's mentally tough. If I'm a coach, here's what I want my players to play like. I want to be able to say, I always come with it every single night. She will compete and take things away from you, just rips the board away from Notre Dame, sticks it.
Love her determination. Completes a three-point play. 8-point margin now for the Huskies. Going inside to Riley. Another back door, but then steps by Ivy.
Remember, you made that point on their last possession when they turned it over. You said maybe one extra pass, one too many. You know, you love the unselfishness, but if Niele is going to pass it there, first of all, she needs to put it to the deck to get an angle. If not, shoot the basketball.
Absolutely. You can see Marcia Lake, Shea Ralph's mother, heading to go check out her daughter right now, leaving the floor. Cash is double teamed. The steal by Seaman. Can't quite control it. Gives it to Joyce. Erica Haney the rebound. Riley is fouled by Asia Jones.
I think you have to ride Ruth Riley right now if you're the Irish. Just be patient and allow her, even if she has to relocate. Give her an entry pass. Let her kick it out. If she has to relocate, so be it. But go through her offensively.
Setting Ruth Riley, who really has a nice touch from the line, especially for being 6'5". 76% free throw shooter. Unanimous Big East Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year for the third year in a row. Scholar Athlete of the Year in the Big East.
He's a woman who's well put together, Ruth Riley. Has all the things in life put in perspective and drastically improved from the free throw line. 69% early in her career. She gets there too much to be a poor free throw shooter.
She makes them both. Still a 6-point advantage for UConn. Bird gets free. Rebound to Seaman. Inside, nice pass to Riley.
And Williams does a good job. She gets top side. She forces them to make the perfect pass at Ruth's hands and her ability to use the dribble.
Ruth is 5 for 5 from the floor. Cash having a tough time, is doubled up. Jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the Connecticut Huskies. So they will have the ball when we come back and a 4-point lead. But the poise of the senior Ruth Riley keeping her team in this one. Back here at Gamble Pavilion in a relatively quiet Gamble because of the injury to Shea Ralph just a short time ago. Vera Jones, what can you tell us?
Well, Robin, actually, I'd love to give you the quickest update possible, but that's not possible. She fell on her left knee, which was pretty obvious and is in a lot of pain. Right now, they're evaluating her. I'm going to get an update as soon as I possibly can.
It's right there when she planted, and you saw the movement in the knee as soon as she planted it.
But it was her reaction that really took your breath away. Because again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tough player who's gone through 2 serious knee injuries. She's a 5th-year senior. Asia Jones too hard. Tries to get it back. Ties it up, but the possession arrow in favor of Notre Dame.
There's the maturity of Ruth Riley. She does not necessarily have to block shots to become a factor in the post. The mere fact that her presence is there makes teams adjust their shooting.
And she only has 1 foul in this game.
Connecticut trying to use great ball pressure to keep it out of the post.
And a foul is called before Riley could get the pass. Gina Auriemma is livid.
And what he's mad about is the fact that she's in there for more than 5 seconds. I mean, he's saying, hey, how long does she have? You can only ask a post defender to hold position so long.
This is true.
Poor Asia Jones is working and working and working. You got to be able to push her. She's got to be able to step out of the paint, or should be forced to step out of the paint.
And Jones instead was called for her 2nd foul. Again, Riley perfect in this game from the floor and from the line. The Irish within 2. Vera, do you have any news on Shea Ralph?
I do have the latest on Shea Ralph, and the bottom line is that she is not returning Robin and Dora. She will not be returning to the game. They are seriously evaluating her condition, and if I can update the diagnosis when they give one, I certainly will.
Of course, that says a lot that she won't be returning in this game. Tamika Williams was called at the basket and then was fouled.
Well, there's only so much that evaluation that they could do. Obviously, they're going to test the stability of the knee. That's what the trainer will do. Then they'll have an MRI, but it's surgery usually that once they get inside the knee, that's where they can tell exactly what kind of damage was done.
The cutting of Haney.
Yeah, good fire. Ruth has an outstanding ability to pass the basketball. Her performance of January 15th, her stock in the WNBA draft rose, and she's having another good night here.
Tamika Williams with a strong move of her own.
Yeah, mobility is what Tamika Williams is going for her tonight. Just make your move to the bucket strong, create angles. Because you're not going to shoot over, Ruth. You've got to be creative.
Riley getting positioned again down low. This time she is fouled. Again, Jones called for the foul, her 3rd.
You know, again, post position is so important. Now, all you want to do if you're a center is just keep working for position. Have you get the basketball. She's got an outstanding feel for where she is on the floor, Ruth.
Her first miss from the line. Coming up on the Monostat halftime report. Sun Belt Championship. Big 12 in action. Teams that are already going to the big dance. They don't have to wait around for Selection Sunday other than to find out where they're going, but they know that they're in.
What a job by Iowa and Coach Bluter. Everybody knew coming from Drake she was going to be an outstanding coach in the Big Ten and upsetting Purdue and Christy Curry. I know that Purdue will rebound to be ready for the NCAA tournament.
But that was huge for Iowa. Good rebound by Seaman. She's been very strong on the boards tonight.
Now you come with Schumacher, who's got 6'5" size. Does she do a better job on Riley?
Riley trying to get position. Joyce is left alone. My goodness, Danica Joyce. What an addition she has been.
Yeah,
a real boost off the bench.
Yeah, just a freshman, but fearless, of the mindset like Taurasi. No fear in Danica Joyce.
Notre Dame 4 of 7 from three-point range. It's a tie ball game. Tamika Williams trying to create something and just draws the foul.
Now that's 2 on Ruth, so you got a minute 18, and you are ahead, or you're even up here. So yeah, I think you
even
get
Steven.
Yeah, get Ruth out of here, because you certainly don't want 3 in the next minute 18. You don't want her to pick up number 3.
6 points. Tamika Williams will shoot 2.
got you covered on college.
Jay Billis and Brad Daugherty.
I don't know who I'd pick in that matchup.
A few
They're
shades
both
of
tough.
blue.
I know. Duke and North Carolina. I don't know. Ivy getting free, shaking KJ off of her. Good touch back out to Haney. 3 seconds is the call, and Gino throws his hands up and he goes, oh, now you call 3 seconds. Now you call it.
And Muffet obviously wanting a different call than she got. And you got to wonder now if they give assistance on Ivy, who's going to score 10th turnover by Notre Dame.
Still, Muffet McGraw has to be extremely pleased.
Oh,
the
yeah.
team coming into this environment and playing with such poise. Diana Taurasi off the mark this time. Kelly Schumacher skying in.
And Shuey has not played great of late.
That's a big basket by the Shoe.
Missed 6 games because of a stress fracture, has not regained the form in that national championship game where she had all of those blocks, but she will be pivotal.
And the crowd on its feet here at Gamble Pavilion. Want to give the home team a send-off going into the locker room at halftime. Seaman working on Williams, completely shut down. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Haney bouncing around, and Haney loses it. 1.9 seconds left.
They get away with one because not everybody checked out for Connecticut.
Will not. Are you kidding me? Super bad back at all. Knocked down the player at the end of the first half.
Now, you certainly didn't need any more momentum going to the locker room than this shot gives you. I mean, get square and give it an opportunity.
My goodness.
And Seaman does the right thing. She steps up and challenges, but go a little bit softer. She tried to get the travel, but you want to stay in front there.
Well, the first 20 minutes, quite exciting here at Gamble Pavilion. The Huskies with the advantage. Can't wait for the second half. Let's go now to Bill Pito.
For UConn with a left knee injury, but the Huskies up 52-46 at...
Robin, everybody wants to know, but I wish I could give you further information. She is in a leg brace now. They continue to evaluate her. The statement that I got, the official statement, is they're not releasing anything until after the game. The doctors will give a full report after the game, but right now she's on the bench in a leg brace on her left knee. Robin?
The crowd went wild, as you can imagine, when she came back in after the half. And look at that, the two seniors, Brosimova and Shea Ralph, with injuries, and it does look severe. Again, the doctor will not make a formal announcement until after the game, but it does not look good for Shea Ralph.
Brosimova with tears in her eyes. Assistant coach Stacy Hansmeyer, who, if it weren't for the injuries, would have been a classmate of Shea Ralph, and she had tears in her eyes.
Taurasi, long rebound out. Swin Cash has it stripped away to Kelly Schumacher.
Well, Schumacher made some plays in the first half, so interesting he comes right back with her here. Asia Jones, Tamika Williams on the bench. The size of Schumacher, I think he's trying to get a look at what that will do defensively.
But she doesn't have the agility of some of the other post players. And for Connecticut, Seaman had a great first half, a very solid first half.
Excellent penetration. That creates the movement defensively, and then you get the solid pass.
Speaking defensively, her father, Jeff Seaman, played for the Minnesota Vikings. Kelly Seaman again looking inside to Riley, who was 5 for 5 in the first half.
Wow, double clutch. That was not in the repertoire early in the career.
Down to Swin Cash again, has it deflected, has it blocked this time.
Lisa Mattingly, baseline side, never reacted. And she obviously thought it was all ball.
Riley position on Schumacher, and there's that size you were talking about, Doris.
Yeah, and not a great pass by Seaman. You got to understand, there's 6'5".
Put it up there.
6'5" fronting her. That's different than 6'2" fronting her.
Kenicha Johnson quick on the shot. Knocked out of bounds by the Irish, so it remains Notre Dame's ball as you take a look at the, or I should say Connecticut's ball, as you take a look at the Nike first half stats, and both teams shooting very well from the floor.
The difference in that stat, obviously double the turnovers for the Irish, double the points off turnovers by Connecticut. Case in point, Seaman a bad decision in the high-low situation. You come down here and you're giving up free throws now.
Alicia Ratai was called for the foul. As we see, Ruth Riley only 2 points against Virginia Tech yesterday. 17 in this game. Schumacher makes 1 of 2. Again, Ratai was called for the foul.
I think you got to give some credit to Bonnie Hendrickson's game plan for Virginia Tech. Bonnie is a solid coach, probably 5 Big East teams going into the NCAA tournament. They elected to try to make other people beat them. You did have other people step up for the Irish in last night's semifinal. You think about players who had a solid game. Ratai with 14, Seaman with 14, and Haney with 12.
And Ratai has to go out of the game. She has 3 fouls. That was her 3rd foul, so she is going out. But her team back to within 4.
And that's better patience by Seaman. Get the ball to high post. Be patient with it. Turn and make yourself an option.
14 points for Seaman. Sue Bird along the baseline. No. Haney running the floor.
Yeah, Haney, one of their best athletes. Obviously, they get numbers in transition, and she makes it pay, and Gino's going to use a timeout here.
22nd timeout. His team still has a 2-point lead. They were up 6 at the half. And so he wants to take a timeout and talk things over.
Yeah, Kelly Seaman was huge in the semifinals. She stepped up. Ruth did not score. Gets out in transition. Excellent use of the left hand. And then this situation in a little bit of transition. Nice little post move. Make yourself an option offensively. With all the attention Ruth gets, Kelly Seaman should be able to score the basketball.
Voted the most improved player this year in the Big East. See her numbers on the night. First time they played in January, she had 15 points and 8 rebounds, playing with a broken hand, no less.
Sometimes players' roles change. Remember, as a freshman, she was a pivotal part, and then as a sophomore and junior, had to come off the bench. The team player in her, unselfish, never reacted, worked hard every single day, being rewarded here with a great senior year.
Averaging close to 11 points, second leading rebounder, 7 boards a game. And they have their sights on St. Louis. They want to be in the Final Four. We take a look, Notre Dame 4 for 4 here in the second half. Taurasi, long range again.
It's almost worth it.
Her 3rd three-pointer in this game.
It's almost worth it to never turn your back on her at all. You got to make sure you shade her and have a hand at least close to her.
Riley inside, doesn't get the bounce. She fights to keep possession. Nice, strong move by Niele Ivey.
Big-time use of the weak hand. That's why coaches say be able to use that weak hand. Keep it away from the defense.
Sue Bird takes the shot. The bounce out to Tanika Joyce. The steal by Bird. Good defense by Joyce.
Good solid no call by both Lisa Mattingly and Dennis DeMeo. No advantage, disadvantage in that block charge situation, so no whistle.
Kenicha Johnson hustling and playing some D. Get the ball back to Connecticut. Asia Jones checks in. Sue Bird taking a seat.
Yeah, she's upset with herself. Obviously, you look at her numbers, basically statistically, even from a year ago outside of the three-point shooting, Gino is having a word for her.
Almost taken away by the Irish. What a pass inside the cash. She's had a tough time trying to collect it.
You know, I'm not sure why Connecticut is rushing offensively. Part of the reason that shooting percentage is so low.
Seaman too far under the basket.
Yeah, I think both of these teams need to settle in here. Quick shots by Connecticut.
Good feed to Cash. Too hard. Taken by Haney. And then Notre Johnson is going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, bailed out here by Dennis DeMeo because they had a pretty good trap on her. But again, quick shots. There were 3 people around Swin Cash when she took that shot. That's exactly what he just said. There are 3 people on you. What are you doing?
You are inside the head of Gino Auriemma, which is a scary thing, Dorisburg. Still the Huskies by 3. Come on back, everyone. The Gamble Pavilion. Back here in Storrs, Connecticut, Robin Roberts, Vera Jones, and Doris Burke with you. As Fabano Brosilova, her senior year, not the way she anticipated it to be. February 1st against Tennessee. Hurt her foot, but doesn't take away from all that she's been able to accomplish in her career here at UConn, Doris.
She has been outstanding. The best player on one of the best teams in all of college basketball. Her numbers are testament to the accomplishment she was able to achieve while here at the University of Connecticut. She is all over their record book, 1,800 points, steals, assists, rebounds, and I have to say this for the Big East coaches. They voted her as a first-team All-Big East.
Right.
Respectfully so, and as good as all the SEC coaches are, Robin, the fact that Tamika Catchings was not on their first team, I think is a disgrace. Don't put her on the second team. Leave her off. If you don't believe she played enough games to earn anything, because there's no question she's the best player.
You can't put her on the second team.
No way.
You can't put her on the second team. Asia Jones is fouled.
You know, they continue to try to work through the post, as they should. You have to be inside out if you're going to be a fundamentally sound basketball team. Tarasi, the little jump shot, not good, but Asia Jones on the weak side.
And Erica Haney was called for the foul, sending Jones to the line.
Checking back in for Notre Dame, number
60% free throw shooter. Sue Bird checking back in. You see her holding her back just a little bit as Notre Johnson goes out. And she's suffering back spasms on Sunday. Did not play against Rutgers yesterday.
Yeah, they basically came out of nowhere. I asked, was there a specific instance where she hurt it? And the answer was no.
The margin back up to 4 for the Connecticut Huskies. Swin Cash battling for the ball, but loses it out of bounds.
Anytime you see where an offensive player has bobbled the ball, get up into them. Put the pressure on them to make a play. Nice hustle by Swin Cash.
I'm trying to go back to it. Inside to Seaman.
Boy, outstanding use of your options offensively. That's just perfect execution. Nice little curl inside by Seaman.
Williams along the baseline, kicks it back out to Bird. Asia Jones, the rebound to Riley. Irish can tie it with 2, take the lead with the 3. The crowd wanted steps, but still, Riley with a miss. A rare miss from the floor tonight for Riley. But the Huskies give it right back to the Irish.
Decision making, and I think Sue Bird would admit to this. I don't think it has been as solid always. That one a little bit of force.
Ivy taking her time, bringing the ball up this time. Back inside to Riley. Her second miss in a row.
Good solid challenge by Schumacher.
Look at Asia Jones running the floor but cannot finish. Wow. Haney comes away with it.
They are letting some contact go now. Ruth on the opposite end. Looked like she might have taken a shot, but no call on either side.
They're letting her play. Ooh. You can see that happening. Haney and Alicia Ratai just miscommunicating there. The zig and zag again. 14 turnovers by Ratai and the Irish.
They played just about 6.5 minutes. They already have 4 turnovers in the second half.
For Connecticut, number 23, Notre Johnson. Replacement Diana Taurasi. Also
Swin Cash is coming back in. Kenitra Johnson in. As Asia Jones, who has played well in this game. 11 points for Jones, 5 rebounds. Huskies looking to extend their lead. Swin Cash.
Oh, good find.
Money.
They run the little 1-4 set where initially they bring everybody up off the foul line. Then Bird cuts off the elbow. And ball reversal gets a weak side look. Very nice.
7 points now for Swin Cash. Riley. 3 seconds is the call. So Gina Riemann really working the officials in the first half about her planning in the lane. And they're really looking at it. And a big turnover by the Irish. Not doing a good job protecting the ball here early on in the second half.
It's a coach's job, if he believes that something's going on, to make sure you make a point of telling the officials about what you're seeing. And one of the things, he made the substitution. He started Schumacher in the second half because of the size. Now, she's playing behind, but watch the end of this. Yeah, little gamesmanship. Got no problem with that. Yeah, look at the smile.
That's all right, big girl. That's all right.
Great job, guys. Sensational catch there.
But that's what you like to see. That kind of intensity, but playing clean basketball. Cannot wait for this Sunday. Selections this is, but we feel that both of these teams, regardless of the outcome, worthy of #1 seeds.
Well, I think Connecticut, Notre Dame, and Tennessee distinguished themselves enough during the course of the year, despite Georgia's great job in that SEC tournament to upset Pat Summitt. I believe all 3 teams are worthy of a seed. Now, this game comes down to who's in the East and who heads out. There's Shea's number. She was looking like the old Shea Ralph. So if Connecticut or Notre Dame, whoever wins this game, I believe they go to Pittsburgh. I believe Tennessee goes to Alabama, Birmingham. But the loser, you're headed, there you go. It's either Denver or Spokane. And again, the tough choice, I think, is Andy Landers or Gail Gessencourt, who gets the nod there.
Georgia or Duke.
But Georgia, poor Georgia and Andy Landers. I mean, if that man gets sent out west again, I'm absolutely livid if I'm him.
Oh, don't worry, we'll hear from him. See Connecticut 3 of 16 here in the second half. But still, they're up by 4, getting it done. Little out of sync, the Irish. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Swin Cash coming away with it, but not before Ruth Riley is called for her 3rd foul. Here at Gamble Pavilion, the Big East Championship game. The top 2 teams in the country. Notre Dame is ranked #1. Connecticut is ranked #2. Robin Roberts, Doris Burke, Vera Jones here with you. It's been tight throughout.
There have been stretches where both teams have had questionable shot selection. The defense exerting their will, contributing to that shot selection.
What a block by Riley on Cash. Going right back to Riley. Ooh, Ratai is taken down by Kenitra Johnson. Didn't mean to hit her quite that hard. Just trying to come out and get a hand in the face of Alicia Ratai, and instead inadvertent contact by Kenitra Johnson. Have a timeout on the floor. Under 12 left to go to decide the Big East Tournament champion. So come on back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Storrs, Connecticut, where the Huskies still in the lead over the Notre Dame Irish. Tonight on ESPN, ESPN.com.
Where does your scoring come from right now if you're Notre Dame? Riley out of the bench. You can't work it through her.
Good hands by Kenitra Johnson, but Kelly Seaman gets it back. Ratai, just like they drew it up.
Yeah, you see, Kenitra,
just like they drew it up.
She leaves her to make the play, and obviously Ratai not great with the dribble penetration, got nowhere, but leave her open on the floor, she'll hurt you.
Again, she leads the nation in 3-point shooting. with the steal. But it remains Connecticut's ball.
No, we're tied, and you got to find open areas if you're her in the line of great shooters. There's the release by KJ. That allows this to happen. You remember the great shooters, Beth Morgan and Sheila McMillan. Well,
right.
she is right in that mold.
We're tied 3 for 3 from three-point range tonight. Oh, Rossi trying a three of her own. Swin Cash. Too hard, but Schumacher. But look how the Huskies crash the boards, especially Swin Cash.
Well, they got a pretty good look, but I'm going to tell you this. Sue Bird actually directed Swin Cash up the middle of the paint. She looked at her.
I saw that.
Nodded her. Look, come on up. You got a little lane there.
Ivy off the mark. And Sue Bird knocks it out of bounds.
Janika Joyce's ability to get inside position and get a little touch of that is why Notre Dame will get another look here.
Joyce is seeing a lot of time in this game, Janika Joyce. The steal by Bird. Almost stolen by Ivy.
I think you have to come with Ruth pretty soon.
Kelly Schumacher from Taurasi.
And here comes Ruth. On both sides of the ball, you're being impacted. She's such a threat. As Nancy Lieberman-Klein said, Ruth doesn't have to take 20 shots to be an impact player.
She just has to be on the floor.
Yes.
Ratai getting loose. Trying to get her own miss. But Cash is the one who comes away with it. Schumacher blocked this time. Kelly Schumacher looking for double figures. She already has 8 in the game. A lot of standing around by the Irish.
You can get as tight as you want if you're Connecticut because you don't have Ruth Riley to bail you out inside.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Ivy getting her own miss, and she is fouled.
The best thing about that play, stoppage, and you get Ruth Riley back in the game. You also get Eric Haney back in this basketball game.
Foul was called on Schumacher. And you look at them with Haney and Ruth Riley just waiting to come back in. She has really been impressive for Muffet McGraw this season, Ruth Riley. As you said earlier, her stock has really risen this year, showing more dimensions to her game, showing a lot of poise. And Neil Ivy missing for the line as Riley does come back in. Look at that, 2 in the second half after having 15 points in the first 20 minutes.
Well, and
playing
now,
with 3 fouls as well.
Why? Well, the adjustment by Gino Auriemma. He starts 6'5". Schumacher. It's a different look. Even if she plays behind, the length of her inside is going to make it more difficult for Ruth. And Ruth has rushed things when she's touched it here in the second half because of Schumacher behind her.
Now, we're used to seeing someone eye to eye with her.
Yes.
Johnson off the mark. Look at Kelly Schumacher. Big board. Cash kicks it out to Taurasi. Knocks down the 3.
Now, Niele Ivy, effective in the first half with that double from the weak side, but you never leave Taurasi to double.
Can. 4 players now in double figures for Connecticut. Ratai answers
the big
for
answer.
the Irish.
Yeah, big answer right there by Ratai. One dribble, she's a little bit more effective. One dribble pull, just to get a real good angle at it.
Again, good ball movement by the Huskies. Going inside to Schumacher.
Yeah, and this is just great news for Connecticut that she's playing as well as she is, because they need her to get back to the level she was at when they won the national championship.
Make that 5 players now in double figures for the Huskies. The crowd is letting them know where they are. They may be in dark uniforms, but they're at home. 7 seconds on the shot clock.
Another 3-second violation.
3-second violation.
See how calm down. But look at those fans. And Taurasi was looking up at the stand saying, that's right, make some noise.
And Muffet McGraw was desperately trying to get the attention of Janika Joyce and Niele Ivey, but being here in stores, she couldn't communicate with him. And that was the point Vera Jones made in the first half. She said Seaman couldn't hear the play call. It was impacting Notre Dame on the offensive end.
Snowstorm? What snowstorm? Nothing keeps these fans away from the beloved Huskies. Some of the greatest fans in the country. Too soft by Jones. Gets her own miss.
Can't be flat-footed. Both of these teams, I don't think, have done a great job checking out at points tonight. You got to go find people. Fundamentally sound basketball.
Just like that, the advantage is 7 going inside to Riley. Has it knocked around, but she is fouled. Notre Dame can tie it. They get within 1. They tie it, but they can't take the lead. They haven't had the lead since early on in this game. A 7-point margin right now for the Connecticut Huskies. 7:23 left to play to decide the Big East Championship, and Kelly Schumacher has come to play tonight.
For me, Earl Kerman, never send a guy shopping without a list. Yesterday, the lovely Mrs. Kerman's.
I can hardly wait to drive home after the game. It wasn't quite the storm of the century as some were billing it, but still snow throughout the state of Connecticut. And really, the bad weather really hasn't disrupted. We thought maybe the teams, but they have not been bothered by these conditions.
There's certainly a lot on the line tonight, and they both came to play. The difference in this ballgame was Gino Auriemma's decision to start Shuey in the second half. Kelly Schumacher has been outstanding. Her 6'5" frame has forced Ruth Riley to take some less than poised opportunities in the post.
Well, the Irish feel right at home with these conditions. South Bend, they were like laughing, going, well, what's the problem? Why is the state shutting down? Wait, this is nothing. Denisha Johnson was called for the foul. 3 fouls on KJ. The possession's becoming more and more important for Notre Dame. Back door, no call. Wow. Wow, indeed.
Again, here's the difference. You force Ruth Riley with a little forearm to the bag. You force her up the post. Muffet McGraw's got to be upset because a dump down pass. There's a mid-post. You get the cut.
See Muffet with her hands up going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Now, you've seen a lot of contact around the bucket not be called.
Cash trying to get position on her player. Got to her too late. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Sue Bird. Oh, Riley with a big rebound. Cash goes hard to the floor. Riley is calling for it. Ivy going hard and blocked by Swin Cash, who gave her that little look. Like, not here.
Had a word
not here, not now.
There's 6'2", and you've got Niele Ivey at 5'8", little dribble penetration. Pretty shot of this. No, sir. Twice on the pipes. Dribble penetration. Great deny. See, Asia Jones' defense on Ruth Riley is really the key in this play. Her denial forces Ivy to make a decision.
Inside to Ratai. The putback by Riley and the foul.
You have to. You absolutely must. Regardless of how tough it is, you got to keep working in a post, and eventually positive things happen. Little dump down. Good execution here. Ratai can't get it down. But watch this. Stick it. And you don't think she is a solid player? Going to work. The screen and the step in. They really missed her right there. That is a pretty shot, guys, because that's pretty. You screen and you roll opposite.
Costly foul, though. Denisha Johnson now with 4 fouls in the game. The Irish back within 4. That's Conlon coming in for the first time. She's seeing more and more time for the Huskies with all the injuries. The turnaround by Taurasi, so smooth.
There's subtleties to this game. And the ability to step up right into the heart of the paint, find the open area of the zone, and make something happen.
Riley working on Schumacher, backing her in. A lot of contact.
It looked like a travel. Connecticut maybe didn't have possession, but I thought maybe Taurasi walked with it.
That's because she did. Conlon's going to take a three. Schumacher has it taken away, but Conlon recovers. Look at the position by Tamika Williams.
Is this going to be on the floor? And is Ruth? Yeah, it is.
Ruth Riley now with 4. But great positioning by the smaller Tamika Williams.
Yeah, Tamika Williams, her field goal percentage is extremely high because she does an outstanding job using her body. She did the same thing on an offensive rebound.
But 4 fouls on Riley, that is crucial with so much time left to go in the game and her team down by 6. Collins not shy about shooting. For someone who doesn't play a lot of minutes.
They certainly didn't think she was loose enough to start jacking them. What's that illegal screen?
That is the call. A break for the Irish.
On to Rossi.
And Gino wants to wants to hear from his freshman.
You know, we will see why here.
Well, yeah.
At right elbow. That is a foul.
And again, she knows it. Gutsy player, but again, talked about this. That's her 3rd foul. She gets herself into foul trouble so much. And Riley going out. She's got 4 fouls. Team down by 6, 5 to play.
And this is a very brief break here. Just have a conversation. You are just Carol Owens, who is an outstanding assistant coach in college basketball and has been a huge part. There's Carol. Huge part of the development of Ruth Riley. This is a Muffet-McGraw staff which is outstanding.
Kevin McGuff, Coquise Washington also a part of Muffet-McGraw's staff as Ivy makes them both to get her team within 4.
Muffet-McGraw was the Big East Coach of the Year. The first words out of her mouth was, folks, I really believe I have the best assistant coaching staff in the country. I'm sure there are some staffs who would disagree, but she has tremendous faith in their ability, and they signed a huge recruiting class Notre Dame.
Well, they're losing a lot.
Yeah, they need to replace people.
Riley, Seaman, off the mark by Taurasi. Niele Ivy, a 5th-year senior, who's from St. Louis, who would love to end her career in St. Louis playing in the Final Four. Like Shea Ralph has known a lot about knee injuries. A fresh 30 for Notre Dame. Swin Cash coming back in. Schumacher and Tamika Williams. The Big East Championship, folks, is on the line. The top 2 teams in the country battling it out. The Big East so proud to have 1 and 2 from their conference.
Oh, big time move right there by Murtaugh. I've been criticizing her ability to get to the rim on triple penetration, but solid read.
Notre Dame, as you would expect, not going away. Really hanging tough. Connecticut making runs at them. Swin Cash struggling offensively tonight.
And how about Ruth Riley goes out with foul number 4, and they have responded.
They can tie it with a 2, take the lead with the 3. Trying to go back door to Ivy. What gutsy play is that? And Taurasi. If that's on Taurasi, that's going to be her 4th. And she's like, I don't want to go over and talk to Gino.
Yeah, this is a dicey pass. They are lucky here. There's no spacing. The help defense is waiting. But there is an obvious foul by Taurasi. And Taurasi has to have the understanding. There's another weak side defender standing there waiting for her.
She'll learn. Ivy making the first of 2. Niele Ivy has scored or assisted on 40% of Notre Dame's 805 field goals this season. Unbelievable. And here comes Riley back in. What a comfort to be able to go out.
Yes.
Her team keeping it close. A breather. Under 4 to go. And we have a tied ball game. Game 73 all. More tournament. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I ignoring you very Mary Jones, what do you have for us?
First you welcome me back, then you ignore me. It's love, hate, and it's love, hate out here on this basketball floor, too. Here's what I see. Ruth Riley picked up that fourth foul with 5:24 left, 6-point deficit. The difference has been Neil Ivy's ability to get to the hole and pick up the foul so she can pick them back up and into the game with the free throws. What Notre Dame needs to stop doing is doubling in the post so hard, especially when Taurasi's out on the wing, or they can forget about it.
Mary Jones really is paying attention.
She's on it. And how about the fact that Notre Dame comes into this tournament having held the lead almost 89% of the time, but the poise to go down in there in stores and respond and do it without Ruth Riley speaks volumes about the level that Notre Dame is playing at.
They really have stepped it up this season. Too soft by Riley. Seaman and Cash battling. Notre Dame retains possession.
Yeah, this is a good substitution. Gina wants to get her in. And the reason why, because Notre Dame likes to run a little interior screen and set the lob for Ruth Riley. Shuey's size will prevent that from happening.
She can match her inch for inch. Trying to go back up. Haney working on Taurasi, did a good job that time. Playing with 4 fouls, didn't take the bait, held the ground.
And you want to stay between the men and the bucket. Had a solid job there by Taurasi.
3 minutes left to go in this Big East championship game. Going inside the Cash, he's triple teamed. Dribbles out of it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Haney getting position. Taurasi had to take that shot.
Yep, and Bilimba, she can stick that shot.
Chance for Notre Dame to take the lead. First time here in the second half. Ivy keeping it going, doesn't get the bounce. Riley battling. And Swinton Cash comes away with it.
Boy, Niele Ivy did a job. She drew the help defender, so even if she missed, Ruth should have been there. But
She
Ruth
should have
hit
been.
the deck. Otherwise, that was a Notre Dame layup. Nice play call from the sideline.
Connecticut will take its time. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Moving it around. Bird is tripped up and bailed out. Didn't really have a play.
Yeah, there's the fall, and she tries to get up to make the play. It cannot. And watch this little takeaway by Swin Cash. No, sir, it's my basketball.
She said, my 8-year-old sister Angie's watching me back home. She's got the chicken pox. She was going to be here with my mom. That one was for you, Angie, I'm sure she was thinking.
It was interesting. Before Tennessee and Connecticut matched up their second time in Knoxville, the shoot-around, Pat Summitt said to her players, guys, I want to say about you what I get to say about Swin Cash, that you set the tone, that you are the most energetic player on the floor. And that's what Swin brings, that mentality.
And how about the mentality of college hoops tonight?
His sensational career at Notre Dame. Solid job here, a little step-through move, excellent touch around the bucket. She got great post position the entire first half. They elected to play behind. She flat out ate up the likes of Asia Jones and Swin Cash and Tamika Williams. This time doing it against Schumacher, though Schumacher has been pivotal in the second half for Connecticut.
As you see, Ruth Riley's numbers, almost a double-double. We've been tied at 73 all for a couple of minutes now. Under 2 to go. Taurasi getting free, losing control, but Schumacher was there, but she traveled before she caught the shot. And another opportunity for the Fighting Irish.
I believe Connecticut in a little zone here. Yeah, content to match up. A cutter goes through, they don't follow. That's how you tell it's a matchup zone.
Riley on the baseline, beating Seaman. Oh, they wanted offensive foul, but no. Blocking is the call, and that's it. Diana Taurasi. That is 5 on Taurasi.
And this is a great call. Dennis DeMeo is one of the best in the business, and he was in perfect position to make this particular call. Taurasi's going to come over, and you're going to love the angle in this because they're going to have a great look at it. There she is, and she leads. There's a tough, I think the single toughest call in college basketball. But watch it. It's the lean in that gets her in trouble, and she tries to sell it. She tries hard to sell it. There she is.
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
Do you know what Gino's going to say to me when I go over there? That's a tough call.
It is tough. 14 points. See, they always get the benefit of second look. That officials don't have that luxury.
But I'm telling you, we are going to hear a lot from Diana Taurasi. Still have the NCAA tournament left to play, but just a freshman. But, you know, Seaman is only a 43% free throw shooter, though she's made 2. She's 2 for 2 tonight. But on the year, only a 43% free throw shooter. She's made her last 8, though. Oops. From Utah and Valpo. As championship week continues here. Oh my goodness, and Seaman misses them both.
She almost like threw it out of her hand. She wanted no part of that basketball.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. So an opportunity for the Connecticut Huskies, and Gamble Pavilion is rocking. Everyone on their feet. 1 minute left to decide the Big East Championship. 73 all. Big rebound by Johnson. Oh, and even bigger 3 by Sue Bird.
Look at this, no reaction, always level-headed. She has not played the greatest of games, Sue Bird, but stick it when you need it.
13 points for Bird. Remember that 3-pointer at the buzzer to end the first half.
She's got 13, 4 boards, and 3 assists. And having a discussion here, Dennis DeMeo, Lisa Matt, all over at the scorer's table.
Not quite sure they're resetting the clock. Because after the shot, the ball came rolling out almost to midcourt. And every second, every 10th of a second, so precious in a game like this.
Paul Carlson, our producer, re-racking whatever it is that Dennis DeMeo wants to get a look at. And remember the controversial calls in college basketball, which led to this rule change that allows the officials an opportunity to go to the monitor if necessary.
But it gives both sides an opportunity to talk things over. Here we take another look.
Good find by KJ. She's well behind the arc. Not sure what this is about. She's well behind the arc. Obviously the shot clock, it's not a question of that.
Well, I say Vera Jones get over there and find out what happened. Actually, it is about the clock. Instead of 47.9 seconds, they're 49.2.
Yeah, this is a correctable error here. They shot too much time goes off the clock, so they put 49.2 on.
I'm telling you, a game like this, every 10th counts. And after that shot by Sue Bird, it was kicked out to half court. A big possession here for Notre Dame. Remember, Alicia Ratai leads the nation in three-point shooting, but Riley, the conventional, because they don't have to panic, plenty of time.
Right.
So why not take the high percentage shot inside? And Riley converts.
Well, you didn't need the 3. You certainly, if you got a great look at a 3, especially with the ball in Ratai's hand, you are going to take it.
Again, coming up, championship week continues in Utah. And Valpo will take the floor as soon as we're through here in Gamble Pavilion. Ruth Riley, 22 points, in this game.
Now watch the moves she makes, because the challenge by Schumacher was anticipating the first shot. Here's the patience. Little shoulder shake, never sold it, but the dribble to create the angle and go around Schumacher. Very, very solid post move.
And even 38 seconds left to go. A 1-point advantage for the Connecticut Huskies.
So 8 seconds, obviously. The women's basketball 30-second shot clock. And you're obviously going to try to defend it hard. Some coaches' philosophy might be foul, because give yourself as many opportunities. I believe Notre Dame will elect just to play solid defense, not give up a bucket, and then go ahead and give yourself an opportunity with the
They play solid
get
deep.
back. Yeah.
They'll still have like 8 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time.
Out of the 2-3 zone, they come man-to-man in this set.
Bird loses it. A rare turnover for Sue Bird. She's trying to say it was knocked out, but wait. This Mayo wants to talk it over.
20 seconds. Yeah, Lisa Mattingly was a trail, and she never, you know, it looked like she agreed with the call, because otherwise it's her responsibility to come up, look at the official who made the call, and change it. But here's our second look again. These guys are making these calls in real time. Yell, check it, crossover comes. That's a solid call. Very solid call.
Went off of your foot.
Right on the money. Excellent piece of officiating.
So an opportunity for Notre Dame. 16.3 seconds down by 1, and they have the ball after that turnover.
Boy, at the end of that, you see why maybe Bird was thinking about it, because maybe there was a little bit of a nick with that kick it loose. I don't know. That's so close.
Going inside to Riley. And she is fouled by Schumacher. And again, she is an excellent free throw shooter.
Well, Schumacher upset with herself, but certainly make her earn it. She got burned on the same exact move where Riley takes a little dribble. Here's her shoulder shake to the right. She tried the same thing the last time. Shoulder shake. Didn't sell. Step through. And in a body. Make her earn it.
Riley 6 of 8 from the line tonight.
You just need one. And you just need one here, Ruth.
She's a 76% free throw shooter on the season, but that's her 3rd miss tonight. And she makes 1 of 2. Still a chance for the Huskies.
Big time.
She did it at the end of the first half. But the officials are saying, hold on. The officials are saying, hold on. But clearly it looked like that went in before time expired. But the officials are saying back off. They want to take another look. But Doris, I do believe that clearly went in before time expired.
Certainly looked like it. And Dennis DeMayo get another look, re-rack it.
And my goodness, Sue Bird at the end of the first half, a tremendous three-pointer, and then the poise to go the length of the floor, create space, and make that shot.
Well, she drained a 3 earlier.
You see the clock. Clearly.
Ah, yes, sir.
The shot is off. And yes, it is official. Once again, the Connecticut Huskies are the Big East Tournament champions.
And look at those two.
Shea Ralph, her status uncertain, severely injured her knee in the first half. Great effort by Muffet McGraw and the Fighting Irish, but Connecticut would not be denied, avenging one of their 2 losses on the year. A solid, solid performance by the Connecticut Huskies.
And this is as good a game as you can ask for in women's college basketball. Give credit to Muffet McGraw and her team
joining us here from Gamble Pavilion. Championship week will continue